Seamless, Ted Rogers. Ted Rogers. And this is the final song ever performed by Joy Division on the 2nd of May 1980. And it's only 13 years after that when I finally gave up on technology. In 1993. What happened? So I bought the Sega Mega Drive. I love the Mega Drive. Yeah, that's what I sounded like for the entire week. But I was slightly smugger because I didn't just have the UK Mega Drive with the common white strip. I had the Japanese import version, which had a purple strip. It makes it vastly superior. And yeah, I loved it. I had golden axe. Even Mickey Mouse. It's slightly effeminate, but I like leaping from leaf to leaf. I sort of questioned myself during that period. Yeah. But I was obsessed during that time with a magazine called Mean Machines. And what it was basically a review magazine by people who's greasy people who spent their holidays going to arcades in Brighton. And there's one man called Gaz, and I love that man with his little greasy mullet, and he recommended that I buy a game called Budokan. And it was dubbed the thinking man's beat 'em up. Actually, you think about it, it's ridiculous. You wouldn't spend your entire life fighting sprites on different levels and platforms. Say Honda, stop with her hand, we'll go for sushi, forget about it. But I did buy Budokan, and it's rubbish. It's truly rubbish. I just spent weeks just training in different dojos, and you sort of see a sensei and he says, train some more. And then eventually you're ready, and it shows you on this really long animation, and you go on a train to Tokyo to fight in the tournament. You get to the tournament, you face your opponent, you press a series of about 15 buttons, and you do this. Hey! About 3 seconds too late, you go down like a sack of potatoes, game over. And it just shows you going back on the train, and it's just... It is the Joy Division of computer games. It just shows that harsh reality doesn't bother taking up karate. So I gave up. But you might think, oh, I know you haven't, Dyson. I know you've got an iPhone. I hate it. I generally hate it.
Hey.
Yeah, who has no iPhone?
Well.
Yeah, anyone else?
I hate your iPhone. Everyone hates your iPhone.
Because all it does, it just sort of highlights how futile our lives are. Like, the apps just match your lifestyle. And every lunchtime at work, I work in Green Park in Reading, there's a sort of lake there. And every lunchtime I go down to the lake, sort of look round over my shoulder, and I just start weeing into the lake. Because that's the only rebellion I've got left in my life. I just wee into the lake, often no-handed, I don't care, I don't wear those shoes. And I look at the lake and I think, for Christ's sake, is there anything I can achieve in life? And I sometimes see a goose and I think, yeah. By the end of the year, I'm going to befriend a goose. There's one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make friends with a goose. And there is an app for that. There is an app. It's called I Love Birds. What it is, it's a series of pictures of different river birds and chaffinches. And what they've done, they take the birds, and then someone on a Casio keyboard does an interpretation of the bird, a digital interpretation. So now every lunchtime I go down to the lake, I just hold my iPhone out, just still weeing, just looking at a goose with a digital chaffinch. And I press another button, it's just a slideshow, the same chaffinch going up and down, left and right. And the goose comes right towards me, goes right past me, looks me in the eye, as if to say, what a pathetic species. Pathetic species. And the iPad's worse, it's just bigger, isn't it, really? And the advert on the iPad says, I didn't want to... basically the iPad advert says, the revolution's just begun. And I've seen, a revolution has at least got to involve some form of struggle, people rising up against an oppressor. I've seen Shade Part 1 and Part 2, so at the very least it's got to be a deeply asthmatic, bloated man, wheezing his way futilely through a jungle, failing to mobilise the agrarian masses, before getting shot by the CIA. Now, as far as I know, a revolution isn't some sort of twat in London with an A4 slab of shit, just waving it around in a fun pub, trying to work out which Florence and the Machine song was playing with Shazam. Because it reminds him of the time you went to a digital conference with Giles. It's not that, it really isn't. But adverts wouldn't be so bad if, I'm just giving it away now, if there's something better in between. And that brings me on to transmission. No, it doesn't. I made a mistake. Basically, I was going to say I'm still going to buy the iPad because of adverts, which brings me on to auto-suggestion. My mistake. But then again, you probably sort of thought the show's going to be really professional, and that's the power of advertising. Unfortunately, you thought it'd be about Joy Division. Not much so far. I'll give you a fact though. This is released in April 1979. You can see a theme here. They're all generally released in 1979. But I do hate adverts. I despise them, and I think they reached a new low this year with the John Lewis advert. They've never seen this advert. But what they do, they take a woman's life, they condense it down into 2 minutes. They drain out all the joy from her life, from birth, childbirth, all the way through to death. And they just inject it with John Lewis. So her character arc is John Lewis. And that's deeply depressing. You know, if that woman was to get run over and her life flashed before her eyes, all she'd see would be a collection of lamps. And haberdashery. Just lying, bleeding on the floor. Her last word. Poofy! What'd she say? Poofy is what they call a footstool in John Lewis, because they're incredibly smug. Incredibly smug. I think my hatred of adverts stems from the Dyson adverts. I'm sure someone in this room might agree with me. Whenever people meet me, it's always the same. You know, are you related to the vacuum cleaner man? You just see me wheel into a lake trying to befriend a goose. It's not likely. You sort of do a little dance, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. We're trying to find a link. And then when people get to know you, it just turns nasty. I just get emails from Witch magazine going, not quite as good as the Electrolux, are you? Suction belt, not quite as good. And it's made me delusional, it really has. I think, fuck, screw you. I mean, I don't care about, has the Electrolux got his own hand dryer? No, it hasn't. Oh, but what about the accelerator? I don't care about the accelerator. I've tried the accelerator. It's like drying your hands in the backdraft of a space shuttle. You might have dry hands, but you have to be down to bones. We, my friends, we've got the air blade. The air blade. Simple action, hands in, hands out. Not only does it dry your hands, it makes you look like a kangaroo. It's a scream. You, I said, start leaping around the room. Literally made me delusional. But even the army of adverts these days, that's fine. They've gone for a strange angle this year, the disgruntled chef. The advert in Reading says, I didn't want to flip burgers the rest of my life. I just show someone hunched down in a trench looking terrified. If I was a burger flipper, that is the bottom of the culinary ladder, but I might think, with a bit of perseverance, I could work my way up to a Caesar salad. Perhaps even become the king of Weatherspoons. I wouldn't be there breading a chicken going, oh, that's no use, these culinary hands of me would be much better suited to garroting a man. I'm going to become a trained killer, I'm going to join the army. It just preys on the weak, 'cause there will be some sort of poor, sort of retarded kid flipping the burgers, trying his best. Here we go, one more burger. Oh no, it's on the floor again. Try again. Oh, then again, I am quite good at playing Call of Duty. I'm going to join the army. But you can't play Call of Duty Afghanistan and get out of your tank to go to the spa, can you? You can't go and buy apple pies. You'll just be in a trench of charred bodies. And, at the very least, you just get shouted at by some sergeant major and forced to do press-ups like Private Pile until he finally goes mad and attacks a passing nomad with a spatula. On a serious note, though, it is deeply immoral. Because if you've been to Burger King at Penistone Station at midnight, if someone can't differentiate between barbecue sauce and tomato sauce, don't give him a gun. There you go, mate. See, you get on that village of civilians. It's just like making a Whopper. Hang on a minute. Then order a cheeseburger. No, it doesn't matter. But like I said previously, adverts wouldn't be so bad if there's something better in between them, which I think might